And what better a reason than Countryfile's annual ramble for children in need. Let's speak to one wonderful walker who will be pottering around the Lake District this October. Lucky devil. It's the marvellous Matt Baker. Good morning, Matt.
Very good morning, Chris.
Drama in the Baker household. What's been going on this morning?
Oh, yeah, some sheep have got out. I've just been in correspondence with a neighbour. I have my wellies on, my dog's in the car, so as soon as I finish talking to you, I'm going to zip round the corner and hopefully put my sheep back in the fields where they belong.
Now, did you miss the sheep and contact them, or did they see your sheep and contact you?
Oh, no, thankfully the neighbour rang this morning, just as we were getting the kids sorted for school, and said, look, can you come round and sort this out? So, of course, I will be there within a moment, but I would be there now, but obviously I'm talking to you.
So is that a neighbouring farm, or have all your sheep gone into somebody's back garden?
Oh, no, there's a neighbouring farm. We have lots of fields around where we live, so it's perfect. And just to put everybody's mind at rest, they're all happy and they're enjoying themselves, so no doubt they'll be enjoying the pastures new at the moment.
I'm sure they are. You always make me very envious when you talk about your farm. Is it as beautiful and idyllic as it sounds?
Yes. Oh, no, absolutely. No, to be honest with you, I am very, very fortunate because I've got farming abilities at both ends of the country. So up in the Durham Dales, where I've got all those wonderful rolling hills, and then back down here where the Chilterns are, rolling as well, but not quite as extreme. So it's nice to have all options, really.
You may have it sussed, Matt. You may have it sussed. All right, so tell us about the Countryfile Ramble. This is good news. When's it happening? Who's doing it where? How can we get involved?
Well, it's all happening again now. Last year was the first time we did it, and we had an incredible take-up. So, yes, we're doing it again this year. It's on the 8th and 9th of October, so just a couple of weeks' time. And then we as presenters will be dotted all over the country doing our rambles, where people have already applied to come along and walk with us. But the idea is we want to try and get as many sponsored rambles as we can going all over the UK. So the idea is that you, off your own back, all of your listeners there, should go out and organise their own groups to go out, get onto the Countryfile website, bbc.co.uk/Countryfile, where you can download a sponsorship form, and then you can all get sponsored to do it, and then send in all the money that you've raised over the period. And that's the idea, and just to get as much money and fundraising going as possible. We raised nearly £900,000 last year, and that's from about 40,000 people downloading those sponsorship forms. So obviously the idea is to try and get as many people doing it as possible.
It's so simple. It's so effective. And last year's total for the launch year was magnificent, just close to £1 million. But Matt, I think this will become the biggest single fundraising event for Children in Need. I think this is going to grow exponentially because it's such a great idea. And who doesn't love a ramble? And the great outdoors now, you have these massive warehouse stores that where you used to see DIY stores massive at the weekend. You have these outdoor centres now, and everybody's going for it, aren't they?
That's it, yeah. Well, I think, to be honest with you, it's just having an opportunity to do it. And when somebody says, look, will you go out, please, and give it a go? And then the option is there to do it, and you can do it wherever you want. And as you say, you go and get the right gear on, because I believe there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing choices. So if you go out there and get the gear that you need, and you can go out and literally, the world is your oyster, and the stuff that you explore and the stuff that you learn. I mean, that's why I love it. You just go outside, and every day you learn, and no matter how many times you've been out, you see something new, you notice the seasons changing, and it is just the most wonderful way, and especially on a weekend, if you've had a busy, stressful time during the week, just to get out and sense the pace of nature. For me, that's where it's all at.
Okay, and the rewards, of course, you reward yourself with a couple of interesting waypoints. You have a little coffee somewhere, then you have lunch somewhere, then you have a cleansing ale perhaps at the end of the day, and leading up to all this is what me and my pals do all the time. We have planning meetings. Okay, and of course you need to go somewhere nice and warm and cosy and welcoming for the planning meetings. You know what I'm saying there, Matt? Yes. It's all about the pub, really, isn't it? And then you got to have an analysis of your first planning meeting and say, was that planning meeting all right? Should we have another? Let's have another planning meeting.
Let's just keep it going, and then and then before you know it, you say, I'll tell you what, we need to plan again next week. Yeah. So let's get out there, and then we'll get back and we'll just do a little bit more planning. Exactly. It's ideal.
And your post-ramble meetings, was it any good? Let's have a meeting. Right. Matt, it's great to have you on the programme. Thank you so much. How will you now corral your sheep? What is the process of corralling the sheep?
Well, basically, they're very good, actually, because usually I'd shake a feed bag and they'll all come running and what have you. So, but obviously we've got the challenge of finding out what's the situation, where have they got through. Yes. So we need to just go and sort that out. But they're very well behaved, and with a handy dog and a feed bag, you can't really go wrong.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt Baker. talking about this year's Children in Need Ramble. Go to Countryfile at bbc.co.uk to find out more. Close to £1 million raised last year. This is going to go crazy. This will be the